Good morning. Welcome to Great Transition Strategies Monday Morning Standup. 5 minutes to get your week off to a great start and potentially give you something to help make you a more effective leader. Today's topic, team effectiveness. Something we've looked at before, but I want to use a model we've used before and revisit another way to look at it. So I'm an executive coach. I work with leaders like you all the time to help them build their self-awareness on who they are, how they lead, so they can love what they do. So team effectiveness. Well, think about your team. We've used this team dynamic model before where this is a team. So think about your team. This is broken down, hierarchy of your team. This could be a consulting team. So maybe senior consultants, consultant analysts. This could be a plumbing shop, an electrician shop, licensed tradesmen, apprentices, helpers. What software team? What works for you? What does your team look like? So this here is a team of where there's 5, 7 people. How big is your team? Break it up by hierarchy. So we did this before. We broke it up into quadrants and looked at quadrants. So let's take a look at your team effectiveness. And I'm really coming at this from the standpoint of COVID-19, the Delta variants kind of changed things. We thought, hey, okay, we're done with this. We're on the right path. We can bring everyone back. But there's still some changes that happen. Maybe we're leaving some folks home. Maybe we're going into a hybrid environment. Some folks are going to work remotely 100%. So let's look at your team based upon that. And whenever I look at a team, I always think of Hackman's team effectiveness model. He has 6 conditions. I'm just going to choose 2 elements of that to do the evaluation. One side, so this is you. I'm going to think about norms. What are the norms of our team? And how do the individuals adhere to the norms and enforce the norms? I'm also going to think about support. What does the team need to function properly? What's the education and training they need? And the resources to operate in our current environment. Now, I just kind of broke it up in 2. I always give a score to each side, but based on what, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, well, maybe we want to break this up into 4. You can kind of take these sides, norms on one side, adherence and accountability, education, training, resources. You choose what makes the most sense for you. If you want to break this thing up into 8, you choose. But this is a way to look at your team. So as I think about this, so let's look at your team. Let's grade the folks. On team norms, I want to grade each individual on how well do they adhere to the norms that are set for this team. And when I mean, here's our team norms. Do they adhere to them? Give them a score. 5, excellent. 3, average. 1, poor. So on a scale of 1 to 5, you give them a score. You give them, okay, there's a 5, there's a 4. That's holding people accountable. There's a 5. But I also want to add some comments to this. Add a couple comments. Hey, great with holding people accountable in a very tactful manner. So you could add a little more context. That adds a 3rd dimension to it. Let's go to the other side. When you think about grading folks on support, do they have the education and training they need to do what they need to in the current environment we're in? You might be bringing someone back to the office for the first time, and they never onboarded to the procedures, the way things work in the office. So you might need to do some education and training. You might be leaving some folks out in the complete remote environment. Well, do they have the resources? VPN, security, video, all the stuff they need to operate in this environment. What have you given them? So now once you've got this done, you've scored all these individuals and you have comments on each area. So you look at it, you can step back and look as a leader, you look and go, okay, what do I have here? What's going on? Well, shoot, I'm pretty good in a couple of different areas. You look at the scores, but here's some things I need to do. I really need to do some training. And I've had a number of folks who've never been in the office that are coming back. What do I need to do as a leader to make my team as effective as they can most possibly be? So it's a way to evaluate your team, how you want to interact individually, and how you need to interact as a group with them, and what you need to do as a leader. One way to take this team dynamics tool and then take the model from Hackman and team effectiveness so you can be as effective as possible. Hope you found that helpful. Just another way to help make you a more effective leader. See you next Monday morning, 8:30. Have a great week.